post it on our page too.
Totally.
I want to post it on my page too.
And we'll talk about Band-Aids over nipple.
Yes.
Well, whatever gets you in the room.
Hey, I feel like I was being a
If
good
nipples
girl
get
today.
you in the room, nipples get you in the room.
Because I put this dress on and I was like, I was standing in the light and I'm like, wait, do you see one? Do you see one? I'm like,
The fact that I was just one of the ladies tonight just made me feel included. Thank you. My little boy is so happy right now.
Me too, me too, me too.
Exactly.
oh my God, I love it. Yes, yes, yes.
So I was thinking this on the way in. When you feel stuck, it's often because your mind has the same repetitive loops. You have the same thoughts in the same way. They're fast and furious along an unclogged highway, but ultimately you go nowhere that you haven't already been. Because I'm a thinker. I am a problem solver. You tell me something, Robin tells me something, she's getting 3 solutions to that problem she doesn't want to hear.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
she just wanted to talk about it.
Right. She's going to put me to work.
I am putting her to and then I have to myself remember everything is not a problem to solve. Everything is not my problem to solve.
That's a key distinction. Yes. Yes. Because you can. Because the fact that you can doesn't mean you should.
So getting back to, reading that story about the, in 1996, they still have this, what they do to the women who were unwed mothers in Ireland. And I think, oh my God, there's so many societal problems here that with everything that we've gone and all the technology, we still can't solve basic things. We can't, we thought with birth control, we solved unwanted pregnancy or, that we wouldn't have a breakdown in, say, that component, which and it's awful to say this, but like you're trying to start the process off at least on the right foot, right? But how many pregnancies start out of accidents? Happy accidents for a lot of them, but there's a breakdown too in family. Weren't you telling us that like 79% of people are divorced?
Yeah, it was when I went through my divorce clinic, we were at 67%, and I think we're over the 75% now.
75%.
Yeah.
So doesn't everyone come from a broken family? And so what are we doing as a society to help what is obviously it's just humans. We're just humans doing human things and all having the same human messes, and human amazing things too. But that, again, problem to be solved, not my problem. But one of the things of property management made me feel like a lot of those societal problems, which manifest themselves in housing, as the first thing. You see everything. And then my husband would say to me, like, that's not your problem to solve because somebody would be having a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're like, well, wait, if I solve their problem, they'll pay rent next month.
That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. And then you wake up one day and you just have nothing left for yourself, for your own, because you've given it away to everybody else so they can pay their rent.
We all have,
which my owners appreciated, but
we all have scars. We all have scars. We all have stories. And until you realize that you have to be the pattern interrupt. If you want something to change, you have to be, because we put all these expectations. If I just get married, I'm going to be happy. If I have kids, I'll just be happy. If I get this house, I'll just be happy.
If I just make $50,000 more this year, I'll be happy.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. If I get that Gucci belt, I will be happy. Happy. But no, you're giving your joy away. Yes. You're just giving it away and not letting, you're letting life happen to you.
And not only that too, if you go to the vibrational and energy stuff with that, right? Every time we're allowed to say we desire something, we're not allowed to live in the not having of it. So similar, like we're talking about manifestation, right? So in this world where if only I could get that, if only I could finally make that career work for me and be feeling safe that I have 50,000 in the bank, or a lot of people go to money, right? Because it's a safety net,
and it solves a lot of problems. It solves your car being broken down on the side of the road. It solves if you have a health crisis. It's the
whole point of it, right? Is it makes life easier, right? It doesn't buy happiness, but it sure buys simplicity.
Yes.
So the point of that is the more we can say we desire it, but the more we live in the not having it, we're attracting more of the not having it.
Right.
Yeah, we're not ever moving. So the way out is what you just mentioned, Robin, right? Is gratitude is the portal to stop that pattern interrupt. So when we start to feel anxious or fearful, or we're going down like a scarcity mindset, or I don't have, or oh my God, or whether it's love or health wise or money, whatever it is, we have to stop and take the breath and move into gratitude for what we do have. And by moving into gratitude, we can then take that gratitude, that's the portal, right, into moving into creation. So, okay, now I am now I'm grateful. Now I've changed the energy. The vibration is different in the air. So now what is it that I want to create? And we move into curiosity. We move into storytelling. We move into a dream sequence. Vision boards, Lisa. Like that's where we can go into that. And that sets and starts an entirely new, you can talk about the woo-woo stuff, or you can talk about actual quantum physics, actual molecular structures, and the photons and the neutrons, the protons, all bumping around each other and shifting external circumstances for what you have now determined internally. And you are putting out that vibration so it will respond. Instead of what we all try to do is, well, my life's not okay, so if only that changes out here, then I will feel good in here. No, it is the opposite of that. How do we change this inside first?
So I was talking to someone, and they were telling me, I do my gratitudes every day. And I was like, oh, because you sound so not grateful at this moment.
Oh, yes.
And I'm trying to be funny, and there was no laughter on the other end of that phone call. And they go, I'm great. What am I going to be? I'm grateful. I even put, I'm grateful for my coffee. I'm grateful. I'm like, well, this doesn't sound like gratitude
It's hollow.
at all.
But I checked the box. I did it. So.
I did it, right?
Yes.
You've got to feel grateful for the coffee, right?
Good distinction.
Right.
Yes.
And when you don't feel, when you're not in that space, it's hard to feel into that space. How do you get from
Because I think that
energy?
you have to
That's the
slow
energy.
down.
That's all the energy colliding into like into something that sounds a little bit more zen. And it's hard when you're in the craggly static. And I didn't know I did this as a young person, but I used to read a lot of true crime and a lot of memoirs and stuff like that. And I read people have amazing stories, and they've been so resilient and have risen from so much. And when I would always be like, thank God that's not my life. My life doesn't look so bad today. I wasn't held captive in a basement. No, and I'm not, And at the time, I didn't know it was a gratitude. That was a shift. But we can always find something to be grateful for, even. And if you can't do it, start reading stories of people who don't have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah.
There's a woman. Her name is Soleka Jarad, Jaoard. She wrote a book called Two Kingdoms, and it came out of her blog called Life Interrupted. She's a 22-year-old girl who was diagnosed with stage 4 leukemia.
Yeah, I read that. That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Listen to that and don't think your day's not like, no matter what you have going on today, I got to go to the supermarket again today. Like none of it is that bad when you are reading these people's stories. So if you have trouble, I think the first way for me always to be empathetic is to read.
I love that.
To connect it with somebody.
To put it in perspective.
To put it in perspective. But it also is how I learn about the world, because I have such a very limited view out my window.
Yeah. Oh, this is... You also said a really key important... You said humans are messy. So I'm going to add to that a little bit. I'm going to say, and because humans are messy, instead of... Can we relish in that? Right? Can we appreciate and enjoy that this is who we are? We're low density matter here, like having a body experience here on Earth. And if that's the case, like how are we shifting into that? That you read, which I think is great. Some people do have to release their emotion. So if they're shutting down that anger or sadness or rage or whatever it is, we do need to feel it. So what does that look like? Give yourself 3 or 4 minutes in the car or with a pillow, and you release whatever the emotion is, because your body wants you to release it. And then you read, which is beautiful. I have people, if they're going through some sort of spiral and you can't really reach them with words, for me, the body is the key. So I'll immediately say to them, what does the top of your mouth feel like right now in this moment? They're like, what? Like, yeah. Like right now, what is it? Little bumps up there? What's it feel like? And they're like, I don't know. It's a little weird. Like, wait a second. Now, top of your feet. What does the top of your feet feel like in this moment, right? Like, that is moving out of the mind into the body. And from the body, we can go to the heart, which is gratitude. So just it's a pattern interrupt. But I love that. Yeah, shifting perspective, going into your body or doing some sort of pattern interrupt from your mind. And that's all it is your mind going through the computer programs that it's programmed to do to keep you safe. And
They tell the same exact story.
80,000 thoughts every single day, 78,000 are the exact same as yesterday.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and
Yeah.
it's good, the brain, but the brain is neuroplastic. So it can learn all new things. It can learn a new route to the
Yeah.
location. I used to love to sing angry music in the car
Oh, I love that.
because there's something about your voice. And when you do it in the car, you can be as loud as you want. The music can also be as loud, so you can't even hear your screaming. But I used to get above there. I got good lungs. And so, and I used to scream like,
Who was it? Who'd you see?
oh, any kind of heavy rock music. I really liked Korn.
Yeah, there we go.
Korn,
That's the Rebel Lisa. I can see that.
you know,
Yes,
Korn,
yes, yes.
Korn. It almost like you couldn't sing Korn. You had to
Scream
scream
it.
You had to
Korn.
scream it.
So, you know, and I think it's the show with Christina Applegate, Dead to Me. I think that was the show. She's in the car trying to show the sweet girl who killed her husband. Like, she sings angry music in the car. I'm like, yeah, I totally get that. That was something because it was a release. It was just
Yeah.
screaming out even though
I have to move.
you were singing about a
I
heart-shaped
have to either
box.
go work.
Okay,
I have
yeah.
to go work in the yard. Like I have to do something physical. And I usually like creating a project. That's kind of how my whole remodeling my bathroom came about, and deciding I'm gonna paint my living room, paint part of my kitchen. And Lisa's like, "You don't want to do that." Like, I am gonna do that.
No,
She's
well,
like, no, you don't want to do that.
What I was saying is, having lived through renovations, if you don't have a clear and concise timeline, you're going to live in a renovation for the next year, right?
Yeah.
So if
Probably
you
fair.
if you don't like, but she doesn't like disorder.
I don't. But so it was. I don't know what was. It just.
And I
It
go,
was
are you bored?
unsettled.
I go-
It's winter. Yeah.
I said, what I'm hearing is that you're bored.
Yes, she said, "Don't do it," because
I
I,
said,
was
"Don't do it."
thinking like I'm thinking today I'm just going to paint this section of the kitchen navy blue.
No, you said weren't you renovating the bathroom at that time?
No, well that's how that started because I
Okay.
took that blue into the bathroom
okay,
and I'm like,
okay.
oh, I'm going to do that halfway. That's how that bathroom started.
See,
That was a good redirect. So you're bored. So
But I'm visual. And well, I mean, we have been waiting to renovate our kitchen forever.
since you
And
moved
I'm
in.
like, I need something. We have our appliances downstairs ready to go. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I need this. I need some progress forward in our house. I need to see my vision. This is our house. This is our home. And I'm trying to be very intentional about the energy that I create in this space. And the kitchen is the heart of the home. And so I always have this energy when I walk in there. I hate those freaking floors. I hate the cabinets. There's nothing about it. And I literally don't enjoy cooking because I'm like, I just want to get in and get out. Unless somebody's in there hanging out with me.
Yeah.
And she's like, I said, so I'm going to see it. I really just need to see it on the walls. And she's like, no, don't spend that energy on that. But because I am visual, and when I'm feeling that unsettled, I have to be physical with it.
and I will say that 23 plus years of renovating spaces
Yeah.
for people for a living.
yeah.
Right? They start, no one destroys. If you need like, oh, I need this whole kitchen taken down, like all the cabinets and everything, so we have a clean slate, you call me in 5 hours, it's in the dumpster. I'm great at destroying things. I've never been able to do that as a kid. I've never been able to destroy anything, and I like
another
building
outlet, man.
beautiful things. So when we renovating one of our kitchens, my husband took my cabinets that I hated because they were sticky with the previous owners did a lot of stir fry cooking, so everything was tacky, all the cabinets. He took them to the top of our deck on the top floor so I could throw the cabinets off into the
love
grass.
that.
Yes.
He lugged cabinets upstairs so I could do that.
That's so
It
cool.
was so, and then,
Oh,
and then he was like, "Go have fun cleaning
is
it
fun.
up," and I'm like
That's
picking up
fun.
all the splinters off the ground. But I can really destroy a space, so I like taking things apart, putting it back together way harder, and having overseen projects that are 75% done, and you are spending months
all
getting
the
the
time.
last 25% is every
the
project
worst.
I've ever worked on.
It is
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
last
yeah.
And I
10%
know she
even.
doesn't like having thing, and I'm like, hold off.
I'm just going to run
hold
away
off,
to
hold
Lisa's house, and then I'm like, you can come see me when it's done.
There you go. That's a good way to do it. There's an energy though there, Robin, with so we talk about energy, right? Like we only have a certain amount when we wake up, and what we choose to spend it on. And it could be anger, it could be fear, it could be a lot of things. There is an energy drain with incompletions in our world.
Oh my God, yes.
So yeah, it's like where in small completions or small incompletions, and then there's big incompletions. The work I'm doing now, because I have this, right? Like walking into my home, I'm in the last 10% of my home too. I moved in 3 years ago. We've done a crap ton of work. Can't get the last 10% done. Doesn't matter how much time I work on it, who I hire. Doesn't matter. Will not get
How
done.
much money I throw at it? Just
Right.
throw money at it.
Yeah, that's like the pool. That was the pool, and that was the
Money pit, yeah.
Well, that's like when Chris was saying this is the year of the house, and I was going out weeding, and I'm like, wow, I just realized like this house is reflective of our relationship. It looks like it's abandoned. It looks like it's neglected.
Wow.
Because I mean, it took a lot of money. I mean, it took a lot of time and energy. But our soil is so healthy. Like you literally cannot dig without finding earthworms.
Yeah.
Like handfuls of earthworms. But it's been so well taken care of, and we didn't get mulch for 2 years, so the weeds had just overtaken. And I think I sent Lisa a picture before and after. I'm like, wow, it really does. And you know, there's little parts here, and I'm feeling that, and I'm like, that's why I need something progress forward. That's why the pool opening in April and didn't happen, and me crying at the tarp, and you know, these plants and all of the stuff. I've put a lot of time and energy into it.
Yeah.
So repeat what you said is that
Yeah, there's an energy drain. So we
energy drain.
we conserve our
Yes.
energy, we use our energy, and we drain our energy. Those are right every day. That's just we are energy, and that's what we do.
So we
And-
make energy, we use energy,
Incomplete.
Yeah,
and we drain energy. Okay.
Right, we have, and in there's a drain in incompletions, but there's two ways of looking at this, because so when I learned this 3 or 4 years ago, my fix-it brain was like, great, I will just make sure that every single thing during my day will be completely completed in that day, and there, I will have no more energy drains in my world. And then realizing, because humans are messy,
Yeah.
that is also not the reality.
Yeah.
So part of like, what are the little incompletions, right? And I'm going to use this word which might trigger you, Lisa, because it triggers me.
Yeah.
What can we settle with today for what we get done, knowing that there will be other things that we will not get done, knowing that those will be for tomorrow.
I feel that in my
I mean,
Go ahead, keep talking.
and then the,
Ow, ow, ow.
the new work for me is, as my coach is telling me, what incompletions are we okay being complete with the incompletion in this moment? That is not complete right now,
Right.
but I'm complete with the incompletion. And that gives you some energy back when you start to accept that too. You know, that's work for both of us.
So I literally started the laundry list of things that didn't get completed that went on today's list, but today had a list.
And yeah,
And you're like,
and what were your feelings around? Yeah, maybe yesterday when you were starting to push them on today's list. Like, what did you feel?
the same thing I feel in my lower half of my stomach, almost like my bowels could loosen.
Yes. So that is a trauma response that a lot of us have, because and what does that mean? Well, maybe we were conditionally loved in that way, or we were prized for completing it. Lisa's the busy girl; she gets everything done. Like Nick's the smart guy; he'll make sure it gets done today. Like he's the reliable one.
Yeah.
He's the one everyone goes to when things have to happen. So with those stories came in, and they settled in our brain, and now our body is holding that, right? So wouldn't it be cool if we learned to get some of that energy back
Right.
into our bodies and to release those stories, because they're just stories and programs, they're not real.
Right.
You know, lots of people
So what did you say again about what you can complete? What can I settle with today? And you said it is complete incompletion.
Can you be complete with the incompletion?
Can you complete? Yes.
Yeah.
Can you be?
We all have the to-do list, we all have the task list, and this is still hard for me today. I used to have 10 things to do in a day, and I've whittled it down to 3. And actually, there's a great journal on your phone. It's called the 5-Minute Journal. If
Okay.
you don't journal, it's a great way to start. It's 3 things I'm grateful for. We move into gratitude first. Then it moves into, what are the 3 things, if I accomplished nothing else today, I would be happy with? If I accomplished those 3 things. I add one more.
I think breaking down things into small enough patterns so a completion can be done. Because I think the reason why most people don't actually even get started on their dreams is they haven't broken it down to the small enough piece.
the way to integrate it. That's beautiful, right? Chunk it down to the
It's
little
true
pieces.
because a lot of people, when you start writing it down, like if you say, "What do you want?" Well, people,
Oh,
will,
what can you do in a day?
but people
Yeah.
will start with like a car, or they'll start, "I wanted this, or I want this." Well, you don't really want. Why do you want that? Like just going
Yes.
down to like whittling it down. I do think it helps you find out who you are and what you really want. I want to be loved. I want to feel safe. I want to have reliable vehicle. You know, it
Yeah.
comes down. It's kind of the answers kind of surprise you when you like, okay, how do we go from a car to like now I'm sobbing like a baby? You know, knowing like I'm just, I need safety. I need
Yes.
security.
And how can you get that for yourself without any external circumstances providing it for you?
Yes.
And we have that
Yes.
ability as
Yes.
powerful divine beings sent here by consciousness, right? By universe.
So
So-
self-possession and self-validation
Is that wait, it's
is
coming
a
up for you?
question.
Well,
I think it's learning to love yourself. But before we have a list of things that we want to put on T-shirts, and we were talking about gratitude, and I wanted to say, I always say gratitude is the gateway to grace.
yes.
In thinking about learning what true gratitude is, like I love going to bed at night. I get so excited that I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to sit and look out and have my coffee. Like it actually gets me excited.
Oh.
But I think people learning to like what true gratitude is, because I don't think that you can have going into manifestation. I don't think that you can have the law of attraction without the law of vibration. You have to feel it.
Yes.
And so,
yes.
but I think a lot of times feeling gratitude is you taking it, you dull it all down and being like, okay, opening up to all of your five senses. What do I feel? What do I see? What do I smell? Like just even the simple things. So I walk in and like, I love my house. Like just walking in and watching the flowers bloom. Like, oh my God, our peonies just bloomed. And I'm like, but it's taking the time just to slow it all down and just what is around you and what are the things that make you feel good.
So
Well, my
good.
coffee does make me feel good, but why does it make you feel good? Ask yourself the next best question.
This is wonderful. Yeah,
That's
it's
what
great.
I think. But
There's- we talked about manifestation just because we're on the subject now. This is perfect. So, well, another shameful cross promotion, completely free for anyone who wants to kind of raise their vibration. We have a Monday call every Monday, 9 to 9:30. It's a Zoom session, and it's called the Manifest Monday Mindset and Magic Call. And this is exactly how we start the day. So no matter how I started this specific call because of what I called Sunday scaries, right? The night before, being anxious of the week ahead, and then
Yeah.
waking up on Monday being like, oh my God, all the things and all the stresses. And so I started this 3 years ago with doing my own work, and it just started about 6 months ago or a year ago, put it on Zoom, and people started joining me, and it was great. So now we have like
That's
this little
awesome.
mini community, but we start with right? How do we change our vibration to start manifesting the life we desire? And the first step is gratitude. And if people are not in that place, if they're angry, if they're rageful, they're usually not on the call. But if they are, it's even better.
Yeah.
Like this is the place to share it, right? Like let it out. But we start with, okay, so first let's take a deep breath. What is one thing the last week or weekend that just gave you so much love, joy, and gratitude? Like what is the one big thing that happened for you? And a lot of people will come. Yeah. Are we doing it now? We can do it now if you want. Oh,
I'm like, both of our eyes are closed.
I had to hold my eye because I was like, great sex. And I'm like, wait,
there
can
it
I
is.
say
Atta
that?
girl.
I was
Can you
like-
say that? I think you can say that.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
I did. I did.
FCC
I didn't want to blurt
rules
it
are
out,
not
but it's like,
broken.
oh, I know. Oh, we're playing. Let's play. Let's play. I love when you have to have rapid fire. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Right.
Yeah. That was first. I mean, me too. So
First of all, if you're not having great sex, you can improve your life exponentially by starting to have great sex.
Yes.
Incorporate
yes.
more sex. My father gave me marital advice. He said, make sure you feed your husband. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he's like, and make sure you have sex with him whenever he wants it. Those were his two before he passed away. That was his.
before he passed, those were his life advice.
That was his marriage advice.
Marriage. Game of Thrones gave that same advice, I believe. Make sure his belly is full and his balls are empty.
Yeah.
Can I say
Yes,
that?
yeah. Balls is okay. We can say balls. It's not FCC. It's FCC compliant.
That's right. That's right.
But we could always see genitals because I love throwing genitals out on a radio.
Somebody's calling. Somebody's
Oh, you got to
calling
call in.
I just saw that.
Someone's-
I just saw it.
Someone's triggered. Let's answer it. Uh-oh.
I don't know how she does to do it.
Okay.
But yes, I think and it's about taking ownership of like what can I do to change this?
Yeah.
Right. What can I change to do this? If I want better sex, what can I do to have better sex?
Beautiful. And also the intimacy piece starts outside the bedroom,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like it starts with you having that allowance to be freely expressive and creative and hold that nurturing space, and him allowing you with that safety and giving you that freedom and that container
Yeah.
to have and to have those conversations. I think like my bedroom life got way better once I started being able to hold her energy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And just holding that as safety for her. So.
And I'm like, it's like a whole new honeymoon all over again, like all the time. So when we were in Costa Rica, a couple weeks ago or months ago or whatever, I'm like, we're not even legally married, and I feel like we have been on more honeymoons than anybody. I feel like every time we travel, and then I'm like, but why does that always have to go away?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we talked about that last time you were here. Like I say vacation vibration. Because why do you spend money? Like people they take time off of work. They're going to go, you take time off, you shop for clothes, then you get there and you're like, we're going to have a damn good time no matter what. Like, but you eat out more, or you're relaxed more, or you do more things to bring your happy to you. But I'm like, why does that? Because when people are on vacation, like, don't you think that most people are a different version of themselves than they are at home every day?
They've given themselves permission.
Right. And I'm like, but why can't you be in vacation vibration every day? I keep saying to Chris, like, why can't we do that?
And especially with your home, with how beautiful it is, even now, without it being completed, that's your dream space. Like, that is your vacation.
Yes.
That's what I started to do no matter where I lived.
Yes.
After my first divorce, I ended up in a 410 square foot apartment in Chelmsford, and it was a really difficult time in my life, but I started to, at that point it was mindset. I didn't know what heart was yet,
Yeah.
but mindset was like, I'm in an Aruba right now. This is great. I'm going to be fine. It's good. But but saying it enough, it
Yeah.
did help a little bit, even a little tiny bit that day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is okay. This is my new line. This is what my life looks like right now, and this is perfect.
Yes.
And this is okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
no matter what the circumstances, situation, this is what it looks like right now. And this is okay. This is
What am I
perfect.
going to do today to have a great day?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, so moving into, I know, hold on. She talked to someone on the phone. We got to hear this.
Oh, so he called to say his name was Andrew. He says he's a resident in Nashua and he listens all the time, and that he saved a baby starling that had fallen.
Oh,
And he
yay.
had, rubbed its belly and its heart and got it moving again. And he said he saved it from being eaten by everything else, and he saved a starling.
Oh
So-
my God, that's awesome.
Yay.
And thank you for sharing it with us. How cool is
And
that?
I asked him if he wanted to share it himself on the radio. He didn't. He wanted me to tell.
That's awesome, Andrew.
Love it, love it,
Yay.
love All right, so what is the next piece?
Oh, from the Manifest Monday calls.
So,
yeah.
well, manifestation, gratitude. What was the next piece? Like, if people were going to be like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah. So, what is manifestation anyway, right? Manifestation is living in the embodiment of what you desire now. So then you attract it in, and you will have no idea how. It's going to happen via a miracle. And miracles are absolutely real. They're all around us. So moving into that space, though, we can do what we can do to prepare, and we can do what we can do to take action and be a creator. So first, as we start those calls typically with gratitude, love, joy, and connection, people will share some stories. And then there are 3 alignment questions. So when we say alignment, what does that even mean, right? This is the process of taking our lower human level mind vibration, which is what we are, because humans are messy. I love that. I'm going to use that all the time now, because that was great. Humans are messy. And by taking that messiness and enjoying it, how do we start to move ourselves and boost our vibrations naturally? And the very first question, which is not natural for a lot of us overworkers, how can we love ourselves more today in this moment? And I tell people, because my people are all usually entrepreneurs and business people, and I'm like, we're not talking about income generating activities. We're not talking about the business priorities. We're not talking about any of that. That'll still be there for you, right? But like in this moment, if you're feeling, now that we're in gratitude, you're in your heart, like, what's one thing that your body or your soul's calling for today? And for a lot of people, maybe it's a walk outside, walk on the beach, seeing the leaves outside. Maybe it's getting a massage, or just going into a hot tub, or splashing in a puddle. Like, maybe it's your little kid. What does your little kid need right now? If we start there, so that's the question number 1. how do you show up and love yourself more today? And by doing that, you've already started to shift because you're reparenting your little kid, but you're also moving into love, excitement, and passion. That is a much higher vibration than what we usually are. The second question, right, is now that we've shown up for us, who do we choose to show up for today in a meaningful way? So what that means is maybe it is a loved one or a spouse or a child, but it could be a long lost uncle, it could be a team member, it could be the homeless guy at the end of the street holding the amusing sign, right? Like, who do we choose to show up for? And it could be a loving message, it could be a text, it could be a post-it note, it could be an email, or it could be a random act of kindness or an act of service of some kind. It could be anything. But you're choosing. You're choosing in that moment to give, to serve.
So you're not saying I have to.
Yeah.
You're saying I choose to.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people, it's just a nice note from someone that they haven't spoken to in a while, right? Or that could be a gratitude note. One of mine, which it's an exercise for anybody who wants to try it. If you're going through a nasty, nasty divorce, one of mine I challenged myself to do was to send a gratitude letter to the person who was putting me through the court system.
Right.
And I did that, and it was a massively powerful freedom for me. Doing it with zero. Oh, that's really important. The second thing, doing that with zero intention of having anything come in return.
Yeah. Zero expectations.
Zero expectations. You don't care if they respond to you. They don't care if they say thank you. You don't care. It's just this is you doing this for you being a creator. And that was a massively freeing moment for me. It didn't matter what came back. It was just doing that, like, wow, I am really, really grateful, even for this experience, even for all of these things. The third question, and this is hard for some people, but being that we only have a very, very, very short 75 to 86 years on this planet, maybe more, maybe less, what's the one step that we can take today that moves us toward that which brings us the most excitement or passion in our lives? And there's a caveat to that, but we'll say it again. What's the one baby step I can take today, or one more step today I can take towards that which brings me the most excitement or passion in my life? And then doing that step with zero attachment to the outcome. We follow our excitement or passion as far as we possibly can in this life, in this world, because that's the only point of being here, is expanding our souls, learning who we are, exploring who we are, feeling everything it is to be a messy human. Right? And we get to experience all the excitement and passion that we choose. And just by doing those three things, loving ourselves a little bit more, loving someone else in a way, and then stepping into our excitement or passion, everything that we've ever desired in our life starts to magically come into existence. And 3 years later, I can absolutely say, and it sometimes feels messy. I love, I'm going on a rant now. There's an actor. Who's the Robert Downey Jr.?
Yes.
He's a sexy
Iron
guy,
Man?
right?
Iron Man.
Well,
Is it Iron Man? Wait, no. It's yeah, maybe it is. And
He
Mel,
plays Iron Man.
he had alcohol addiction.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, and Mel Gibson gave him, I guess, helped him out with a role when he was in his addiction. And I remember him giving a thanks talk to Mel Gibson at an Oscar speech, and he said this. He said, Mel told him some days he had to wake up and he had to do these self-love exercises, this gratitude, and he would wake up and he would just feel off, like hug. And so Mel and him called it hugging the cactus. I loved that word.
Hugging
Like,
the cactus.
When you start self-love and you haven't given yourself self-love in so many years, it is going to feel awkward. You're going to be, it's going to be stupid. You're going to be angry. That's part of the work, though, is moving through that beautiful anger, awkwardness, resentment into this. What's there for you is bliss, like complete and utter bliss, satisfaction, and joy. But you have to get there, right? That's part of the process. So those are the three.
Love it.
I think touching your heart is a big one.
Yeah.
And I actually think hugging yourself is a big one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think being very gentle with yourself. I was trying to find back in my notes.
Because I think the nervous system calms down with human touch.
Yeah.
So if you have no one to touch you, right, you can't go hug someone or whatever, hug yourself. Rub your own arm. Like, I know that seems very strange, but it will trigger your nervous system.
Not
to
just
calm
anybody
down.
at the crosswalk.
Oh, maybe hug maybe hug someone at the crosswalk.
No, I get that. I used to do that when we going through a divorce, and there was, it was ugly. I chose to be, and I think this is where I was aware that I was doing it. It was really ugly. But I chose to text him a happy birthday. I chose to send him a Father's Day card. I chose to invite him over, even though I did not want him to be a part of it. I would invite him for Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthday parties, and they would come over, and they were awkward, weird moments. But I'm like, you know what? This is who I'm going to be, and this is who I want my kids to be. I'm going to do it because that's who I'm going to be. I don't care what his response is. That's not mine.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
but I'm going to show up this way. And there's even just little things, we're making a dinner. Our son comes in late, and we're getting ready to go upstairs. And I was like, hey, do you want me to make you a chicken sandwich? He's like, yeah, that'd be great. And I'm like, so I threw some fries and a chicken sandwich thing in the air fryer. And he's like, why do you do that? And I'm like, because that's who I am.
Yeah.
I know that he can do it, but you know what? I like to love on my people, and I like to love on them by food as well. But just finding those ways of being like, it helps you let go of any of those expectations, and like then you start looking for, well, where else can I do that?
So true.
But I even said to my mom years ago, she was married to an alcoholic, and she wrote about living with alcoholism. And she had said to me years ago, I should just leave him, divorce him, and do this. And I'm like, well, then you should do it. And I said, but if you stay, you can't be resentful because you're making a choice. So you're choosing to be partnered with this person, and you know that they have issues. That issue is you don't like it, but you can't go and be angry at him because you chose to stay. Because now that you've given yourself the choice to say, hey, am I going to come out? I'm going to get a divorce. Well, yes, now you know that you can walk away at any time. You just can't stay in it. And so I was like, I don't know. I don't even know where that came from when I said it to her. Like my kids were like 2. I was all about like, no, I don't believe in personal development. That's stuff. I did. I felt like it was BS. Like,
well, I also I got better in the personal development space once I figured out I'm not broken.
Right.
I think when you consider yourself broken, then everything else is like you're trying to placate something, but we're all not broken. The human experience is what it is. We have all of the things.
Beautifully and perfectly messy.
Oh,
yes.
I used to say to my kids, we are perfectly imperfect.
There it is.
Yep.
I love it.
I love that.
Because if you were anything else, you wouldn't be human.
You're you.
You'd be a tree, right? A tree's perfect in a tree way. Humans are the even like animals. They're perfectly what they're supposed to be.
Yes.
And that's why we are perfectly what we're supposed to be. This is the experience that we have. One of the things that is the most magical thing about manifesting, which is to have a clear vision, right? And it comes from, I don't know etymologies of words, but manifesto, to put forward an intention or manifesto is not intention. Hold on a second.
Well, but it's actually too, like, not to get religious, but talks about in the Bible, and it says, pray
Public
as if
statement.
when you ask as if it's already been delivered.
Yes. Well, you give thanks as if it's already been delivered.
Yes.
Yes.
But if you come from a secular world, you don't have a lot of practice of the faith that is involved
Yes.
or the power of prayer. I was just reading Edgar Mitchell's book about going into space, and when they were rescuing, was it Apollo 13 or 14? One of the Apollos got stuck.
Yeah.
So they had to go and rescue them. And the whole entire world watched. And he said groups got together in other countries around churches and around various things and prayed while they were going up to get them. And when he came home, he was quoted as saying, prayer brought them home.
Yeah. No, it's real.
And
it's
when
all
you
very real.
collectively do a group prayer, or the more that you get better in the prayer piece, which is a thankfulness, a gratefulness, or whatever word you want to use there, a trust in what you need coming back on the other side. Not what you want,
Yeah.
but what you need.
That's beautiful. Intention. Yeah.
But when you're not religious or practiced in that, where do you find what people call woo-woo because they can't have the science to attract?
It's
attach
true.
onto it?
No, it's true. And it's funny because I can relate with both of these things. We have at least 4 listeners that are trying to look for examples on excitement or passion in your life. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But what on the manifestation side, like talk about being clear in your vision, right? Like so that we can talk about it with religion. We can talk about it just with setting up what Abraham Hicks calls rockets of desire, right? Into the portal, into the vortex. So whether you're religious or not religious, another 2 pieces on a journal. Very, very quick exercise. I used to do this once a month, right? Until I literally feel like I have my dream life now. So I do it in gratitude. But the first page is, it is essentially a gratitude list, right? So you get your coffee, you put on some really nice music, and you say, I'm going to spend 40 minutes sitting down and journaling this. And the first 20 minutes, the left page is, in life and in business, I am grateful for. And you literally, big, small, molecular, whatever it is, you write every single line, and you fill up the entire page. The entire page. And people get to start feeling a lot of things out, right? When you're starting to roll, right? And now that you've begun in that gratitude, the next page, which is really creativity, and I heard this from a religion coach, but I adapted it because it's the same. You know, if you're speaking to a higher power, if you're speaking to God or the universe or whoever, I know you can and will you put at the top of that page. Or you say, this is what I prefer, like, I'm writing my ideal day of work 5 years from now. My ideal day from the moment I wake up, and I'm writing it in the past tense, being thankful for all that I have, right? So in the morning, I wake up and but you have to use feelings and emotion more than anything else in descriptors in this. Like I pull out of my bed and I feel this specific tile on my feet as I walk into my bathroom. I look in my bathroom, I see these colors all over. I see these big mirrors with the backlight. I go into the 6 shower thing that it all hits. I had this for a while. I did my first one in 2006, didn't believe in any of it, was forced to do it. Right? Did another one in like 2012 again, and then like all of a sudden, it wasn't until 2018 I found my first one. This is before my big awakening, and I was like, oh my God, like 3 of these 10 things are happening. And it's by writing it, putting the vibration out there. There's that magic, the molecular photons and neutrons start to mold themselves right into the outside circumstances, aligning to what you have desired. But it's in the becoming. We cannot have the desired manifested outcome if we haven't become the person that can hold it yet.
Yeah.
So then the universe, what you need, not what you want, will start to put scenarios in your world that allow you to adapt and to expand into the person that can have the thing you want.
Yes.
That has become, that's the only reason we're even here, right? Who do we want to become? Who can we expand into, and to embrace all the happiness, all the joys, all the peace, and embracing the messy human struggle, maybe anxieties and the fears that aren't real. They're in our head, but we're human, so they're there. And embracing all of it is one big, beautiful, imperfect picture.
I have to write this down because it's like, I need to remember it. I know, but I live it. Like I do live it every day, like into some ways. But like, we talk about, every time you try to level up, there's always, roadblocks and circumstances. But I just loved the way that you said it. What you need is going to show up.
Yeah, she said it first. I was just elaborating.
But how living and going, and I said to Chris yesterday, I was going to get plants. Yesterday I was on a mission. Like, this pool is going to be fixed. He told me this weekend, and I'm like, I am going to be a serial killer if I slash some tires. This pool is not
bodies
fixed.
Under the mulch if we don't have this fixed.
yes. And then you plant a protected species of plant underneath over the dead body. You know that? Then you can't dig it up.
You heard it. You heard it here from Robin.
Always something educational on this program.
Hide a dead body.
Always.
But so anyway, I was running around. I bought these little lounge chairs. I bought this. Like, I've spent time looking for the perfect float. And then I was going to get some plants because I have a couple more, and I was like, I'm not doing the plants today. I've been all peopled out. Like, I need to be in my compound. And I said, but I do. I love actually coming here. I feel like the more that I'm loving home, and home is so exciting and it's so beautiful every day. Yeah. And that's just having that home really is in your heart. You know what I mean?
What are the dates of the 20 and 21?
June 20th, 21st. They're on Zoom virtual. Yeah, love to
Okay.
have you.
And then we are going to go. You said there were 4 questions about passion or whatever. We can do like 15 minutes on a live on Instagram that we can keep and record there.
Cool.
So that we can finish that piece, because I don't want people being like, I wanted to hear about the energy. I wanted to hear about the passion. So thank you for tuning in to another Lisa and Robin on the mic. You are listening on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can always watch, stream, and listen on WSMN.live or YouTube or Spotify.
1590 WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen.